Hello and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Tonight we are joined by Erica Darcangelo, and I know I'm gonna mess that up. Let me try it again. Darcangelo, did I get it right? Please tell me I did.
Very close. The Arcangelo.
Okay. I am horrible with pronunciation, but I have to tell you, we share a namesake. I always go by Ari, but my name is Erica,
Oh, that's awesome.
and we spell it the same, which is rare, actually.
I love that.
I guess I should have shared that in my little intro with you, but whatever.
No, it's great.
Here, let me finish my intro. Here we go. There we go. Welcome to the room, Erica. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
It's a lot of snow on the ground, but we're surviving. We're surviving.
Good.
So I'm going to jump right into it. We were here to talk about your book. And from what I understand, it's not just a book, it's kind of like a family album, so to speak. It gives a little history about your family.
Yeah, absolutely. So it starts with my grandfather's story. He was an Italian immigrant. He came over from Abruzzo, Italy, and he loved pizza. And he ended up working in the coal mines. He was a kid. He was pulled out of school at like, I think he was 9. And it goes on his journey and his journey to, a food and family and love and really, really good pizza.
Hmm. Now, I heard a little bit about it. From what I understand from your bio, your father, he had a heart issue, and then he decided to go back into the family business.
Yeah, so I lived in Tampa for, 10, 15 years. My father had heart surgery, and my family decided we were going to go back to Western Pennsylvania for a year and help my family. And we had, owned the pizzeria. My grandfather opened it in 1960, but my dad was a high school superintendent, and then he retired, and he wasn't really spending a lot of time there. And then he ended up having the heart issue. And when I got home, I just thought, this might be good for us to get back involved. It'll get him out of the house. Will give us something to do together. And so I suggested, hey, let's go, spend a couple days at the shop, and we can drive in together, and I said, I'll do your marketing, and
Hmm.
we can work together here.
Oh. Now, you brought up a point, so I'm gonna skip ahead in my questions because I try to take notes as you talk, so I'm gonna skip ahead just a bit, but I'm gonna double back. Let's see, where do I have that at? Okay, here it is. From you mentioned marketing, which I found very interesting. So you started that in 2001, correct? A marketing job?
I started in the industry in 2001. I think it was 2013. I launched my own agency.
Okay. So I found that interesting because how do you feel that that boosts what you do now as far as your writing?
Well, the thing is that there's so many people that they're writers, and
Mhm.
when you have a book, there is a huge part of it that is the marketing. So having the marketing background, I thought, okay, I wrote this book, and I mean, I wrote the book, and then I just let it sit for like 4 months because I didn't know what to do with it. And then I was like, okay,
Mm.
I've been in marketing for 20 years. How do I apply the 20 years of the marketing knowledge that I have to promote my book and promote myself as a new author?
Mhm.
And I learned a
Mm.
lot on this journey, and now I have, 12 children's books coming out, and I have a coloring book
Oh.
that came out today, so I'm just sort of, like, using the marketing tools that I have to just keep promoting, like, I guess it's sort of become this book empire. I don't know.
Wow, that's awesome. No, I mean, now do you have go through a publisher or are you indie published?
I decided to self-publish and
Mhm.
self-publish through Amazon, which I'm really happy with, but I talked to a lot of publishers. I talked to a lot of like self-publishing companies, and there was a lot of it that I was like, "Oh, I know how to do this." Like,
Mm.
press releases, podcasts, websites, social media. I had been working on the TikTok page for my dad's restaurant for like 5 years. We have a viral TikTok page, and I thought, "Okay, well, I already have a page that has 300,000 followers, so
Mhm.
this is a good start." And I had to really almost like putting a puzzle together, put the pieces together of how I could market this.
Mhm. Well, actually, you make perfect sense on that because a lot of us, I've published 15 books myself, but
Wow.
well, don't get too impressed. I
No, it's
might not be your cup
incredible.
of tea, but well, thank you. I do it for the sheer love of doing it, and I tell everyone the same thing. Don't be too impressed when I say that. I have a few more in the works, but I have stagnated a little bit, outside family stuff and all the other, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
let's not mention current events, that also stagnates a lot, but,
Yeah.
as far as creativity, because it has a lot to do with that. But you make an interesting point when you said that you already knew know-how to do it. I have found only for my I'm published by my own self, I'm an indie. But I
Mhm.
found out when trying to submit and everything and talking with other authors as well, a lot of the things that they would do for you, they do if you are a bigger name. So a lot
Yeah.
of the pushing of your work you would have had to done anyways, even if you had a publisher. And then would have had to share, what is it, 33% on every 99 cents you make, as
Yeah.
far as if you were to go through Kindle and that. So a lot of the times you gotta take that I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, but you had a very unique position already doing marketing. I kinda envy that. So, do you think that it helped you greatly in the sense of your books? Have you reached the audience that you were hoping for? I mean, you already said that you were viral, which, by the way, I put a note on that too because I wanted to talk about that too because I know you had a viral thing on on doing the pizzeria. But have you
Yeah.
found that that's boost a lot of your books' input into your readers?
I think it has helped me to sell books. I mean, I talked to a couple publishers and I actually talked to Forbes publisher, but we decided it was like my books are not business and I really didn't want to write a marketing book, even though I've been in marketing forever. But they were very surprised that I sold that amount of books in this small amount of time. And it was really it was the marketing and it was just a lot of consistent work. And it's almost like it doesn't stop. Like,
Mm-mm.
it's every day, another press release, another Medium article, work on the website, contact
Yes.
bookstores, contact libraries, like, it is a full-time,
Yes.
everyday job.
Yes. Yes, and it's interesting because, my personal assistant, my PA, well, she's that, but she's also my partner in chaos here. And anyways, she does what she does for other authors as well. She doesn't do the same here in this sense. We do the podcast together and where she handles all the fundamental stuff. And that's the thing. It is a job in itself. I mean, you can spend hours. I used to do more than I do now on it, and it would be hours. I mean, I would sell. I mean, especially during Christmas, I would do, 7,000 books through December easily.
Wow.
But yeah, don't get too pressed. Well, that's free stuff too, because it's
No,
always
that's
promo.
amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you, but it's promos too. It's a lot of work, and I don't
Yeah.
think people understand that. When you do it, it's not just the writing, and so when your audience wants another book, it's a lot of work, and I don't think people understand that. And it is when you say that it's another paycheck, it's another in a sense. People think, "Oh, well, I could do this." But if they had the knowledge you did, you know what I mean? They'd fully understand how much real work it is because you made a living at it, just doing the marketing, correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still own 3 marketing companies, so my goal is to, be a full-time author, but it's every day, it's a lot of work,
Yes.
and you can't really expect too that like, of course, it'd be wonderful if your first book was just like a New York Times bestseller and you just were like in the book clubs, but like that's not really the way it works. So you have to have other projects in the pipeline.
Mhm. Yes. Yes, it's continuous.
Yeah.
So when we jump back to the book just a little bit more, I know I've kind of drifted off with your marketing because that just totally amazes me. I could pick your brain for hours. But anyways, talk to me about the cover of your book, and if you could, let everyone know the title of your book as well.
Sure. So the book title is A Story About Pizza. And the cover is actually a picture of my father that I took on our land, our family's land in Abruzzo, Italy, when we were there
Mhm.
together. And I went through a couple iterations of the cover, and I wanted something that looked artistic, I guess. And I think, down the line we may add like, a quote and just some more information, maybe a subtitle, but I really wanted to put it out like that to begin with and just sort of see what the result was or what the outcome was.
Hmm, very interesting. Now, you said your father, no, I'm sorry, your grandfather started the business in 1960. Now, he had a kind of a humble beginning. Can you tell us just a touch about that?
Yeah, my grandfather really had nothing. He immigrated from Italy with his father, his three brothers, and his mother, and they were very poor coal miners, and they lived in the little town of Windber. And Windber had the East End, which was the all the Italians, and then it had the West End, that was the Irish, the Polish, and the Slovakians. At that time, there was no union. There were a lot of things happening in the mines, a lot of abuses, and
Mm.
it was really his dream was hard won. He worked for many, many years in the elements, dirty in the coal mines. He had black lung, and through all of this, he had this like very positive attitude. And he was just a hard worker, and he was very determined to take care of his family.
Very interesting. My grandfather also worked in the coal mines.
Oh
My
wow!
mother's father. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh!
now we share a name and a grand.
So many things. The
I
books.
know, right? Um, you've really become my favorite already, instantaneous.
Me too. I'm like, we have so much in common.
Oh. So now you're a large Italian family, correct?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay. So tell me the input that your grandfather and the Italian culture put into you as a person.
So many things. I mean, we were raised in the pizzeria. Like, I remember as a baby crawling around there, and my grandfather had a coal furnace. That's how he heated the building. And we would be filthy, and I'd be like holding a slice of
Mm.
pizza. And it was like our family was always together. We were very loyal. Every Sunday we had lunch together. We always spent like Christmas Eve, we had 80 people. My
Oh,
grandparents would
wow.
just, yeah, they'd hold this huge Christmas Eve dinner at our restaurant, and anyone that didn't have a place to go for Christmas, they would invite them in just like they were family. And so we had a million people, and it was very loud, but very loving and very loyal, and just they were there for you.
Mhm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that makes life more important when you have that whole, you know what I mean? That whole support system, and when it's vast like that, it just makes your life so much more. Oh, I can't even think of the right word, but it just makes it a lot more pleasant when you have those connections to share your lives with.
Yeah, I think it gives you a lot of stability. And I mean, even now we have
Mm.
5 kids in my family, and my father, a lot of the time, like, siblings, we argue sometimes. My dad, he's the first one that's like, squash it, make up, blood is thicker than water, you're a family. And I'm like, and we're both like, you're right. So no one ever really stays mad at each other for any period of time.
Right. So now I heard you mention that you have some children's books, and to go back into the whole large family element, do you think that that had a lot of input for you to want to drift off into children's books as well?
For sure. My siblings are now having kids, and my little niece is 5, and she's literally my best friend. I love her so
Mm.
much. And I was so lucky that, my sister and her husband are both coaches. So during the fall, I get to pick her up from school, and we get to spend a lot of time together. And I really wanted to create something beautiful. And I dedicated the book to her, and even had like my illustrator do a little illustration of her for the dedication.
Oh, that's incredible. Now, when does this book debut, or did you already publish?
So this book comes out on February 9th, which is National Pizza Day.
Ah.
Yeah. And it's one of 12, and I want to have the next one released sometime in the fall, but I need to see if there's another pizza holiday I can push the book out.
Now, does the children books have a connection with pizza?
Yeah, so the first book is almost like a children's version of the main book. It follows this little
Oh,
boy.
that's
Yeah.
incredible. That's nice.
Yeah, yeah, but it's, in a very more simple terms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. That's really and you've already done all 12 books?
The first one's finished and it's out. It's available for pre-order right now. The second one is done and it's in illustration, and then I'm working on the other ones. I have the titles, I have them storyboarded, and I'm just kind of laying them all out right now.
Nice. Now, has the niece pre-read all the books? Or pre-read the first, I should say.
It's funny because she has not read it. She has it. She has one of the only copies that I have, and she does not like books right now. She wants to swim,
Oh.
she wants to skateboard, she actually surfs, funny enough, and it's just not her vibe, so I'm not gonna push it until she's, like, ready to look at it.
Aw. Now how old is she?
She's 5.
Oh, 5. Oh, well. You have to cut her
Yeah,
some slack on that. That's
yeah.
probably one of those nighttime book reading things, like, "We'll let auntie read you a book to sleep?"
Exactly. So, yeah, like, as an aunt, it's funny, like, I never push it, I'm, like, very easygoing. Like, I think when it's your niece or nephew, it's like anything goes.
Oh, yeah. We're always funner with the nieces and nephews, I have to say. I have, 3 that always came here during the summers and during Christmas. Right after Christmas, we would bring all the kids here, and they would just bring all their toys from unwrapping, and they would of course, they're all adults now. One's 30 and the others are in their 20s. That's how old I am. But, anyways, yes, I remember those times greatly. Treasure them because they are the most precious of times.
Yeah, they're
So
very, very special times.
they are. So now well, I wanted to track back just a little bit because I know we mentioned about your TikTok channel. Tell me how the video started for the pizzeria on TikTok.
Well, I was driving into the restaurant with my dad. We had about like a 20-minute drive, and he would be there. Like, he actually got so, interested in it. He wanted to talk to everyone and tell them the story. And he even renovated the building that my grandfather bought in 1905. And I was just sort of there. And I was like, okay, what can I film that's going to be interesting here? And so I would do some videos of the restaurant or the inside or the outside. And then suddenly I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do like cutting pizzas.
Mm.
And I started doing videos of just cutting pizzas. They sell like 100 pizzas a night, so I had plenty of content, and I posted one, and I woke up the next day and it had 1,000,000 views, and I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Cool." I was like, "So we'll do," and it was just the sound of the crunch of the bubbling cheese, the cutting of the pizza, and it just went crazy.
Oh, wow. Now I
Yeah,
know how I should do my podcast while I'm cutting pizza.
right? We're doing cheese pools.
Yeah, there we go. We're in for it now.
Yeah, sign me up.
That's that's awesome. Now, it was just a plain video from your phone, or did you really get into the choreographing of it?
Well, just from like, doing marketing, we shot a lot in our iPhones, and thankfully we're always getting the next new iPhone just because like we shoot so much. Like, I think I
Yeah.
have 10,000 videos on my phone right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, it was just iPhone and then TikTok, and then I started to push out the videos on Instagram, and this very nice man who owns At Pizza reached out
Mhm.
to me, and he started collabing with my videos, and he has like a million followers or more, and it was like a miracle. It was amazing. And he was like, "Hey, send me videos, and if you film them for me, I'll post them and I'll collab with you guys." And so the Instagram, like, I think our biggest video on Instagram has like around 3.5 million views.
Oh,
And
wow, that's cool.
he really helped us out. Like, it was really nice because we were a family-owned pizzeria, and he just loved family-owned pizzerias.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really great. And you're still posting the feed out to them?
Yeah, he just collabed with us a couple days ago, and, I'm still posting TikTok videos, and, yeah, I go stand in the kitchen, and I actually had my daughter film my last batch because we're filming, more like a documentary about the pizzeria right now. And so my husband and I were busy filming that. So I kind of gave the phone to my daughter and I was like, here you go. You're gonna take this over. So she filmed my last batch.
Oh, that is really awesome. I love that. So
Yeah.
now you previously you moved across the country. Is it because of with your father going into the issues at that time and you decided to be there supportively and then just engaged more into the pizza thing for the whole move across the country?
Yeah, I mean, I was there. I was looking at a lot of the relics and all the old pictures that are in the shop. My dad was telling me stories, and I just became so inspired to write the stories. And my siblings started to have kids, and it was like we really wanted to be more close to home.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I think it's fantastic. I think it's very inspirational. I really love the whole concept.
thank you.
Well, you're welcome. So, what's next? I mean, I know you said you're doing the first book, which is out in February, and that's one of 12. Do you have any other great plans coming out that we want to announce for you tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I do have the children's series. One of the things that I think we're the most excited about is we're doing a documentary series about family-owned pizzerias. And of course, the
Mm,
first one is going to be my family's, but this is something we're going to continue. We actually have a video production company, so it's working out rather well. And we want to really highlight these families who have come over and have these multi-generational pizzerias and their stories, and they're just so beautiful.
mm. It sounds like it. I really love the whole concept. So, when do you think that those are going to start releasing for you? Or are you, I know you said you're already underway. When do you expect those to be releasing?
Yeah, we filmed the first one over Christmas break, so we're kind of in the editing and putting together process. I would love to have it up by the end of January, but I think my husband's timeline is probably going to be February or March, if I had to
Okay.
guess.
Well, that's
I'm always like,
awesome.
I'm the one that's like, "Is it done? Is it done?" Like, right away.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, you're more than welcome to hit me up, message me at any time and say, hey, let's do a little bit more on the documentaries. I'd love to dive deeper into that.
Oh, I'd love that.
Well, wonderful. Hit me up and we'll connect on that because I would love to dive deeper. I think that would be great. And even diving deeper as far as other families and carrying on the tradition that you yourself and your family have done, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, it's really like, people they come over and they bring you the recipes, and each area in Italy has kind of their own method of their best pizza, and it's just really cool to highlight and see that.
That's fantastic. I want to thank you so much, Erica, for being on with us tonight. And I'm very sorry about mispronouncing. I am horrible at pronunciation.
You're
But
fine.
thank you so much for being so wonderful of a guest. I've really enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, I did too. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, anytime. Once again, thank you to our listeners. I think we're going on, what is it, 3 or 4 years now? I am just so delighted every night that you guys tune in and seeing the downloads continue to increase. So until next time, guys, have a great evening. Bye bye for now.